Hey everyone. Yeah, I can just summarize this from my very personal perspective. I feel a lot of black people just want to be listened to. And maybe for the first time, I feel that people aren't listening. I've said this from several different perspectives of when dissent occurs, when chaos erupts. It's because people have exhausted their ways of trying to be listened to. We are talking about 400 years of a history of a bloody history of slaughter, abuse, people being treated like animals, and people having to fight to be treated as three-fifths as a human being, and later having to fight for this and having to fight for that. And 400 years of it, and it really has not improved. The redlining, the segregation, things that have only transformed but never been repaired. 400 years of that. Yet we have our non-black friends that try to talk to you for 1 hour and then they throw their hands up in the air and say, but you won't listen. We're trying to help. In 2015, I went to a convention in Phoenix, Arizona to speak about macro and micro aggressions, things that people face in different instances of oppression, whether it will be sexual discrimination, sexual orientation discrimination, and especially race discrimination. Being from the Caribbean, even my black experience is different. You know, I cannot equate what I may have experienced to what black people have experienced here. So even I, being a black person, can't fully speak about or comprehend. And we need to listen. When people are saying that they're tired, that they're exhausted, that they're lost for words, that they're lost for options, they don't know what to do. We need to listen first and avoid judgment, just listen. Because it is really quick and easy to try to tell people how to feel, how to express their frustration, how to express their anger. It's really quick for us to judge them when we feel that they are not expressing their frustration or their anger in a way that is comfortable for us or a way that we deem acceptable. One of the most important lessons that I learned when I was growing up is I don't remember exactly what I did, but I did something wrong at school. I think I mistreated someone or I retaliated. And then, of course, I felt bad for it. And I explained to my mom what happened, and she sat there and she listened to me. And she asked me, did you tell the person I'm sorry? I said, yes, but, and she grabbed my hand. I remember this clear as day. And she put the other hand on my shoulder. And then she put one finger in front of my mouth. And she said, when you say I'm sorry, it doesn't have the word but in it. And that was probably one of the most powerful lessons that I've learned in my life. I haven't always succeeded at that, but I try my darndest. But that taught me that when you say, I am sorry, we don't want to hear, or the person that's been aggravated does not want to hear what they think that you can do to help the situation. They are hurt. We don't want to hear, I am sorry, but. Black people right now don't want to hear, I am sorry, but. Sadly, and it breaks my heart, I've heard a lot of conversations devolve into from Black Lives Matter into Blue Lives Matter. It's not the way to go. We're not talking about the good cops. The good cops, we don't have to worry about the good cops. The good cops will be good. We don't have to worry about an interaction with the good cops. The thing is that we're seemingly having a lot of bad interactions with bad cops. Good cops, don't worry. Are your life in danger? Your life is in danger from the moment you took that pledge and from the moment you wore that badge. We get it. We're not dismissing your danger. We're not dismissing how difficult your job is, but we are not worried about you. We are worried about the persistent and pernicious silence of the good cops for so long, for whatever those reasons may be. Whether there has not been the support from leadership, whether there has not been the backing from the rule of law for them to actually denounce misbehavior. We get it. But don't make this about you, because it is not about you. It is about the bad cops and the good people that are suffering at the hands of bad cops. Let's keep it there. If you want to do something, it's fine. March with us. Hug us. Say I'm sorry. And then do your work. Don't tell us how we can accompany you. Because for the last 400 years since black people got here, all their mothers and fathers have been trying to do for their spouses and children that were enslaved from when they got here is try to tell them amongst themselves what to do, to protect themselves, to stay alive. We have had a lot of internal coaching already. We don't need to be coached by a non-black person as to what they think needs to be done. It's not only hurtful, it's heartbreaking. And it adds to the exhaustion, to the mental and the emotional exhaustion that nobody gets. I am not absorbing someone else's experience because I just got here 5 minutes ago. I grew up in the Caribbean. I was exposed as much to microaggressions. Even now, with everything that's going on here, I cannot say legitimately and honestly, I cannot sit here and say that I feel that my life is in danger, but I get it. Because I did not grow up that way, so that fear is not instilled in me. But at the same time, I hear mothers that came from my country, the conversations they have to have with their children now that they're going on to college. The conversations that their fathers have to have with their sons, even though they did not grow up here, so they do not understand it, but they know it's real. They have to tell their children what to do if they are stopped by the police. They did not grow up like that. So we don't want to hear the buts right now. There are bad faith actors that are starting riots, that are doing looting, but we don't want the conversation to go there. Don't fall into that trap. Stay with your black people. Stay with your black friends. Stay with the message they are trying to convey. Okay? Stay with them. Don't let yourself get distracted by the fires, by the looting. Because after you march for so many blocks and miles, trust me, you don't have the energy to set anything on fire and carry no TVs out of any stores. Heck, some of us have difficulty walking our dogs. So keep the conversation focused on where it should be. Let's avoid the Blue Lives Matter hashtag right now. We don't want to hear it. And it's not because we're angry, it's not because we're rejecting your help, but close your eyes for 1 second and just look at the number 400 years. I went to another symposium in 2016 that spoke about how trauma can be passed on from one generation to the other and how it literally can stick in your DNA. New studies that have shown this. So literally the anxiety, the fear, the trauma, the anger, the pain can be transported generationally without you experiencing it, without anything ever having happened to you. So we need to approach this. If you're going to do anything for your black people, listen to them as to what they're telling that they need from you, not what you think they need. Because more than likely, you're going to be wrong. Because this isn't about you. You might be indirectly affected by everything that's going on, but we cannot begin to explain how their lives every day is a Russian roulette. The wrong word, the wrong movement, the wrong interaction, the wrong intersection, the wrong turn into the wrong neighborhood can mean your life. 4 times more than any other person of any other race for any other given circumstance. Can be the wrong place at the wrong time and catch a stray bullet, yes. We're not talking about that. We're talking about something that you cannot avoid because of the color of your skin. And we need to listen and not be distracted. Whether it is by complaining, nagging friends, whether it is by the media, do not be distracted. Listen. Ask questions. Don't speak about something you just do not know and assume you know better, because that's how it comes across. And I'm saying that I understand that intentions come from a good place. I get it. I'm not being condescending here. I truly understand it's coming from a good place. But the first thing we need to do is this. Listen. Listen. And if we really think that something is going to come across thoughtless, keep it to yourself, let it percolate inside here, and then formulate it in the form of a question. But listen. Do black people need to come to the table? Well, yes, that's fine, but not yet. Because we have been sitting at that table, we have lit the candles, we've set the ambient lighting and the music, we have served you your favorite meal, and that dinner has gone cold. We have done everything to invite the conversation. We have been having conversations since the 60s and the civil rights movement. Haven't we had conversations? What has changed? Some could argue that it's even gotten worse. So it's not about being willing to have a conversation after an olive branch is extended. We get that. We are good at that. We're willing. We're open. But we need the abuser to fix their problem. I don't know how you're going to fix it. Getting involved, I don't know how to fix. This is not a thing about like a dysfunctional couple having an argument and going to couple counseling. When that dysfunctionality, it devolves into physical abuse, attempted murder, unfortunately, the surviving party no longer has to participate in fixing you. When that person is left with a purple eye and a bleeding nose, it is, I beg to say, unreasonable for you to say, you need to sit at the table and talk with me after you beat up my face and left me with a runny, bleeding nose. It's not about me sitting at the table anymore. It's about you getting help. And we, even though our nose is bleeding and our eyes busted, we will sit there and tell you what kind of help you need. We will tell you, you need this, you need that. That's as much as we can do. But we cannot fix your racism. We cannot fix you seeing my skin as a weapon instantly. We cannot fix you thinking that a white man reaching into his glove compartment is looking for identification and a black man reaching into his glove compartment is instantly looking for a gun. We cannot fix that. We cannot participate in that conversation any more than what we already have. We have already tried to tell you that this is implicit bias. We have already tried to tell you that there needs to be more race sensitivity training in all of these life-endangering professions. We've already tried to tell you to push legislation. We've already tried to be part of legislation. We have already tried to be part of all of these different branches of government. We have already tried to do this. We have already tried to do that. And then our last line of defense is telling our peers, our friends, our children, our spouses how to react if they encounter authority, because we're done. From our perspective, it's not working. We are at the corner of the corner backed up against the wall right now. So we're at the point where we're telling people, keep your hands on the steering wheel. Keep your ID handy. Move very slowly. Ask permission to reach into your pocket to get this. Ask permission to open your sun visor to reach for that. That's where we're at now. So we're not at the point of having a conversation because the abuser is not listening. How can we have a conversation when you are not listening? So let's start by listening. And let's start by eliminating any semblance of Blue Lives Matter right now. Because your lives, those lives have been in danger from the moment they took the badge. And we are not worried about the good cops. Good cops should not be worried either. You're doing your job. You're following your calling. Don't make this about you. That is wrong. This is not about you. It has never been about you. Are you pissed off that you feel the impotence of not being able to do anything that they might turn against you? I get it. I get it. But that doesn't mean you get to make it about you. You don't. You say, I'm sorry, and then you go back to your people and you try to fix the problems in your house. Listen.